And welcome back to Scissorman Warrior, and this is a second video from the Triple Mollywop series. Shout out to Urban Blaster for the name idea. I learned Triple Mollywop from him from watching many of his videos, so go check him out. But on this Triple Mollywop series, it is 3 versus 3 Grand Arena, and I want to showcase just a few kind of off-the-wall teams where you're not fighting meta versus meta, but non-meta versus non-meta. And in this particular video, we are going to go over the Ewoks, which Ewoks I chose, a particular team I went against, although they work very well against all B-rate teams and some A-level teams such as Kylo Ren. And so we're going to talk about that, and we're going to do a little bit of video analysis. Let's go in really quick to the 3 characters, see how I have them modded, and then we'll go through the video and do an analysis. As you can see, this was a Director Krennic and Death Trooper team, and then they threw in Phasma to speed the team up. Now keep in mind, Director Krennic can revive Death Trooper, and once one of my little furry guys dies, Death Trooper can death mark, and it's pretty wicked. This is kind of a B team or filler team for a lot of individuals when they're in Grand Arena, so they can free up some really great offensive teams. And I've used my little fuzzy bears against a lot of different team comps, so hopefully I can do more in the series specifically with these guys. But for this particular video, this is the team I went against, and this is the Ewoks that I took. Now in the future, I will try to always capture the opponent's information, where they had, what they had. They do have a Zeta on Death Trooper in this particular video. I do not have all that information captured, but again, remember, Grand Arena is against people who you are. I'm 5.3. The people I go against are 5.3 million GP. These guys all have perfect mods, and their characters are basically all maxed out with Gear 12, most of them Gear 12 plus. So we're going to go ahead really quick and go into my Ewoks and where they were at. Okay, now the first one I take in is Chief Chirpa, and the reason is his leadership ability. Ewoks gain 20% turn meter and deal 10% more damage whenever they perform a basic attack. So this is important. These effects are halved for other allies. It says whenever another Ewok ally uses a special ability, they have a 60% chance to call another Ewok to assist. It'll be a random Ewok. So that ability just gives a lot of turn meter and random assists, which is really important when you're taking a team down. Now, I don't have him modded special. I've got a speed set and then 2 randoms. Of course, this is speed. This is crit chance with speed secondary of only 5. This is health with 10 speed. We don't have these guys modded very well. Health here and 7 speed. Now keep in mind, a speed set for Chief Chirpa, the only reason why I do that is simply because the faster he is, the more turns he takes, and he's really a support character, and that's why on here I did crit chance, because I wanted to make sure he crit. And then over here I've got 11 speed, and I've got some 9 speed. So there's not a whole lot of really good mods. You can see he's not even 200 speed, and he's actually below 60,000 health and protection, only about 55,000 health and protection. His potency and tenacity are nothing, his damage is nothing, and his crit chance is around 45%. Let's go to the next character. Now, Poplu has a kind of a bigger role. Not only does he keep the team alive, but he's there to kind of get the turn meter train going. I do not have him Zated. I have him Gear 12 with 1 Gear 12 plus piece and 1 Gear 12 piece. And then I have all of his abilities maxed, but his Zeta. And for his abilities, Galvanize really gets this going. It dispels all debuffs from him and another ally, and then the other target ally, being an Ewok, is going to be called to assist and gains 10% turn meter. So you can kind of use this immediately to help give your other character turn meter to get going. He also obviously taunts, which is really good. And then his Vigilant Strike is on basic dispels buffs from a target enemy. So when he's called to assist, he can keep cleansing those taunts and other buffs off of the characters. So this is important and why I like him on here. Now, his modding is very specific. He's a tank, so you want him tanky, but you want him very, very fast. Now, I only have mine at 227. He really should be more close to 250 or 260, but I don't have those kind of mods. I've got a speed set with speed primary there. Over here, I've got protection with 18 speed secondary. That's pretty good. and then tenacity with 12 speed, health and protection. And the tenacity is really for him kind of pointless, but he is a tank. He is going to get hit, and some base tenacity is never going to hurt him. And then he's got protection with 16 speed here. And then we got 13 speed secondary and 14 speed secondary there. So good, not great in comparison to what I am going against. Again, your Grand Arena should be relative to the individual you're going against. Now let's look at Wicket. Now, Wicket is important because he provides turn meter and he's your damage dealer, and you're going to want him to go quite a bit as well. I've got him to gear 12 and one gear 12 piece, but not maxed out. And as far as his mods go, I have a critical chance and a critical damage set. We've got speed on the arrow, of course. I have critical damage with 9 speed secondary. Here I have some tenacity with 4 speed secondary. Again, in this video, they're not maxed out. The mods aren't phenomenal. This is protection with some speed secondary. This is, of course, 15 speed secondary, which is awesome. That's one of the best mods he has. And then on this one, 8 speed secondary. So again, not superly well modded. I got him around 220 speed and around 60,000 health and protection, but his crit damage is up. And of course, because he does physical damage, he's at 62% critical chance and 2600 damage. His armor is decent for an attacker, but let's go ahead and get into the battle. The team that we're going against, you got to remember, Director Krennic can revive Death Trooper, and you really got to take these guys out. But I want to showcase kind of how the team works. And remember, you can use this team against basically any B or C level team. And then, of course, you can also use it for a few A level teams, but it's difficult in 3 versus 3. Now, keep in mind, I like to show everything, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So if I make mistakes on gameplay, it's okay. We're going to go anyway and showcase it. All right, let's go ahead and get into this. So you'll notice the first thing that happens is my Poplu was the fastest. I did look at a team that I knew that my Poplu would be faster. You should always compare what you're going against to make sure you're not going to be outgunned. My Poplu was faster than their characters, so I'm going to use his third ability and call Wicket. And then Wicket, because he is under Chirpa, ends up calling Chirpa to assist. So here we go. And we're trying to take out Death Trooper. He is kind of the big problem. Although remember, he can be revived by Director Krennic. But Director Krennic can't be critically hit because of Death Trooper. So we're going to go ahead and do a mass attack. There we go. And we're going to do this for turn meter. And we're now going to stealth Chief Chirpa. And so far, this is looking pretty good. We've got him killed, and we now have Retribution up, and we're buffed out. And so now we need to take out Director Krennic. Now, I make a mistake, and I start going for Captain Phasma. That is my mistake. Bad targeting. And again, this is one of those things that 20 seconds in, I start going for the wrong person. And so he brings him back to life, because I didn't go ahead and start to address the right guy. So we go ahead and hit him. We lose all of our buffs, and we're back to basically square one. This is my fault for poor targeting. And now it's starting to go downhill a little bit, but we can recover this battle. So we're going to do this for turn meter. We're going to use his basic. Again, we're killing Death Trooper. And now we're going to call Wicket. And Wicket attacks twice. Now we're gonna go after Director Krennic like we should have the first time. And before he can bring back or revive his character, we're going to go ahead and take this team out. So you guys can see the importance of targeting. It is really important to have your kill order correct, which is one of the reasons why I want to do these videos, so other people can get more points in their 3 versus 3 than I did in this particular battle. Of course, I live and I learn, and that's where these videos come in great. Now we're going to go ahead and call Chirpa to assist. Remember, he's a kind of a damage dealer. Actually, I called Poplu, and we're just going to finish this team off. There we go. We had full health. We had all 3 surviving units. And so, we got our victory. We got our first attempt. Remember, you always want to beat it in the first attempt, always, because you lose about half your points if you have to go back with a cleanup squad. Make sure that you go in and check your opponents out to make sure your modding is sufficient for what you're going against. This was one of his kind of filler teams, and this was my Ewoks that are kind of a B-rate team for me because their mods aren't that good. I got all my surviving units and all my full health. Now, they didn't have full protection, and that's on me. I could have probably had 1 or 2 of them with full protection had I done my kill order correct, but 51 banners is nothing to shake a stick at, and it definitely helped me win this Grand Arena. So what do you think of the Triple Mollywop series? Do you like the Grand Arena 3 versus 3 and 5 versus 5 videos? If this is something that you guys want to continue to see, I need to know this, and the only way I can know other than a few comments is for you guys to go ahead and smash the like button so I know that you liked this video. I then compare the likes compared to all my other videos and see which ones are the highest, and if it's the highest, then I know this is something people like, and I can go ahead and continue. I've got about 15 other videos I can make just like this right now, and then I'm going to start to record battles and actually go into my opponent's information to make sure that I'm showcasing both sides so you can see the good, the bad, and the ugly for both them and me. Anyway, I appreciate you guys checking out my new series. Leave comments down below of what you thought of the team and how are you using your Ewoks in 3 versus 3. As always, keep your gaming on. Warrior out.